Army pilots are straight up not having a good time. Over the past 8 months or so, they've seen one announcement after another about the Army's plans to cut hundreds of helicopters and thousands of aviators, crew, and maintainers to replace them with what seems to be vague, hand-wavy references to drones. To make things more concerning for hopeful Army aviators, in October, Lockheed Martin unveiled the U-Hawk, a version of the Black Hawk helicopter that can fly itself, no human pilot required, just a Joe with a tablet. The knee-jerk pundit response to all of this is to say that manned helicopters are on the way out, particularly attack helicopters, since small drones seem to be stealing their attack and reconnaissance jobs over the battlefield, especially in Ukraine. But here at Task and Purpose, we do the research to give you a more nuanced view of what's actually happening within Army aviation. What we found is that manned helicopters, even attack helicopters, still play a vital role in modern conflict, including over Ukraine. But it looks a lot different than it has in the past. Like our old pal Gumby, the unofficial patron saint of the US military, helicopters are flexible. You can use a helicopter for anything from medevac to reconnaissance, and the British Army has even used Apaches to carry around infantry. And unlike fixed-wing aircraft, they can take off and land pretty much anywhere you have a clear view of the sky. The second strength is the human crew, who can make decisions and connections in ways that computers just can't yet. And as Army aviators, they have a unique understanding of both land and ground forces, which help them put together strike packages that can topple the enemy. In a recent story on taskandpurpose.com, our reporter Patty Nyberg spoke to 7 active duty Army aviators and 1 Chief Warrant Officer 5, because yes, those do exist, and the Army allows enlisted to go Chief Warrant Officer to fly, which is just badass. Anyway, one of those unicorns said that 70% of what the pilots do is coordination, not just flying. When things don't go according to plan, which in combat is a lot of the time, it takes humans talking to each other to get back on track. So if comms aren't working the way they should, or the guys you're picking up aren't where they are supposed to be, it's going to be difficult for a robot to figure out what to do next. The third strength is reach and speed. The advantage of drones is that they are cheap, but that means they also tend to be lightly armed with limited range. A manned rotorcraft isn't long range by any means, but they fly a lot further with many more weapons than their beep boop friends. This lets them strike places the enemy might not expect. Helicopters, like other weapons such as tanks and aircraft carriers, aren't obsolete just because the threats facing them are evolving. But they do have to evolve to stay relevant, and that's precisely what is happening today.